The freshman quartet will be back for Ragin Cajuns baseball in 2027. Let's discuss it here on Ragin Rundown. What's good, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into another episode of Ragin Rundown, the show where you will know all things UL sports. I'm your guy, Jamarcus Fitzpatrick, but you can always call me Fitz. And in today's episode, we will be talking about the freshman quartet returning to Ragin Cajuns baseball in 2027 as they announce their intentions on social media on Tuesday afternoon. Now, before we get into that, obviously, as you saw in the last episode, the season ended in the Starkville Regional, Louisiana falling to Mississippi State 19-5, ultimately ending their season. They played 66 games. They finished the year 41-25, but ran into a buzzsaw and ran out of arms, and that ultimately ended their season. And in that episode, one of the things that I said at the end of it was that this staff is going to be prioritizing the four freshmen that were a part of this last season's, as we'll talk about it in past tense now, this past season's class. I said that it was going to be important that you bring back pitcher Sawyer Pruitt and catcher Colt Brown and shortstop Blaze Rodriguez and outfielder Noah Lewis, that you needed to have those guys back on top of other pieces around in terms of retention. And if you were able to do that, that things could be special for you in 2027. And lo and behold, just 2 days, really a day after me saying that in an episode, it all happens. All four guys announce their intentions to return to the team. And so I'll pull up on social media exactly when it all started and what they said in each one of their posts. It started at 4:11, where Sawyer Pruitt tweeted, "See y'all at the Teague in 27. Hashtag 113, which is the 113th season that Ragin Cajuns baseball will play, which will be next year." At 4:24, Colt Brown says, "Run it back." At 6:06, Blaze Rodriguez says, "No place like the Teague. Cajun Nation, run it." And then finally, Noah Lewis at 7:30 put hashtag 113 with the Go Cajuns hand signal that we all know and love so much. Also, on top of that, when you talk about other players that are coming back, Ascension Episcopal product Hayden Pearson, his father Joseph Pearson saying, "Make each other great homegrown and home cooked meals again next year," confirming that his son will be returning in 2027. And also Parker Smith announcing that he would be coming back on his Instagram page. And as of today, I had originally recorded an episode, so I'm coming back for a re-record. Mark Collins announced on Instagram that he would be returning for 2027 as well. So you have guys that have now announced. You have Parker Smith, that's 1, Hayden Pearson 2, Noah Lewis 3, Blaze Rodriguez 4, Colt Brown 5, Sawyer Pruitt 6, and Mark Collins 7. 2, 4, 6, 7 guys have announced their intentions to return. And it's huge, particularly this Big Four class. First of all, because all four of the four guys that we've talked about were all Sunbelt freshman team members. So the conference is on notice, and they understand that these guys are special. When you talk about each player individually, Colt Brown led you in batting average with a 314. He had 8 home runs. He had 72 hits and 53 RBI, which was second on the team out of the lineup. And he started 64 of the 66 games that you played in. I think the only 2 was maybe like a Kansas State game and then maybe a midweek game where Jose Torres went in and started a couple of games for you. Other than that, he was your guy behind the dish. Noah Lewis was third on your team in batting average at a 297. He started in 47 games and appeared in 60 games. He, like I said, had a 297 batting average. He had 19 RBI, just 3 home runs, but that power is going to come along more for him. But he was a table setter for you. He was able to get on base. He had 54 hits for you. And once he got on base, he was really, really good at stealing bases, as well as he had 16 stolen bases out of the 20 attempts that he made. So he led your team in stolen bases as well. We know how much Matt Deggs and company like to try to go and steal bases. Then you look at Blaze Rodriguez. He played in every single game for you and started in every single game for you this past year with a 252 batting average. Defensively, he was very, very impressive. We saw how big he came up in the Cincinnati game, the elimination game that Sunday, where he had two SportsCenter top 10 type plays. So he's going to be big to have back. And then obviously Sawyer Pruitt eventually started off the season as a midweek starter, emerging more as a Friday night starter, having a rough patch, but then kind of being a back end bullpen guy for you and still having some big closing moments in his freshman campaign. He finishes his freshman season, as I'm pulling it up down here, with a 5.21 ERA. He was 7-5 in 25 appearances. He started 10 games for you. He threw in 74 and a third innings, and he had 83 strikeouts, which was third on the team behind Ty Roman and Andrew Herman. So that four is a huge part for you guys. It's a huge piece that you have. And then you think about Hayden Pearson, who was really big for you in a lot of moments. He wasn't a true starter, but he had a 4-3 record. He had a 3.17 ERA. He appeared in 28 games. I'm looking at Parker Smith's stats. Excuse me. Parker Smith had a 3.17. He was 4-3 in 28 appearances and one start. Hayden Pearson, meanwhile, had a 3.74 ERA. He was 1-0 in 26 appearances. He pitched in 33 and 2/3 innings. Parker Smith went 48 and 1/3 innings. Hayden Pearson had 28 strikeouts. Parker Smith had 39. So all of those guys are huge for you. And then we talk about Mark Collins as well, as we saw near the back half of the season, him kind of emerging and having really, really big games for you. You think about the 4 RBI career high game that he had in the regional and how big that was. And he continued to build as the season progressed. He had a 279 batting average. He appeared in 47 games and started in 32 of them. He had 36 hits, 5 home runs, and 22 RBI. So just having those guys in the mix helps you a lot. And Coach Deggs had talked about that he really believes that this team, with the pieces that they have and what they are going to be bringing in, that this group can not only just be a part of a regional, but can host one in 2027. And I would have to agree with him because of how talented this freshman class is and all of the pieces around it can potentially be as well. We have yet to hear from Drew Markle, Donovan LaSalle, and Steven Spalita as some guys of note. There are plenty other players on the roster as well that have not announced their intentions. Josh Lim is one of them. Cole Flanagan is another. Bryce Wilson, Landon Victorian, Owen Galt, J.R. Tillett, Kason Ballard. Obviously, Chase Morgan did not play this past season, but he would be in the mix as well. We've heard from Sawyer Pruitt and Parker Smith, and like I said, I'm just going down the list. Cody Brash could potentially be someone that could enter the MLB draft. Ty Roman could also be that. Garrett Carter, Cam Riley, Griffin Abear, Trip Dobson, and that is pretty much it. So we're waiting to see if more and more guys announce their intentions. But as of now, you have 7 guys that have made it publicly known they will be back in 2027. Now, as exciting as it is to see what guys will be coming back, there have been some players that have announced their intentions to leave the program and enter the transfer portal, one of them being a little bit of a surprise. We'll discuss all of that when we come back here on Ragin Rundown. Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning into another episode of Ragin Rundown. If you made it to this point in the episode, thank you so much. Please do me a favor. If you're watching, like the video, share it, and leave a comment down below. But most importantly, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you're listening, follow the podcast feed, rate the show, and leave us a review because that helps us get in front of more Ragin Cajun fans just like yourself. So as I mentioned, 7 players have announced their intentions to return to the Ragin Cajuns program in 2027. We've listed them all for you. I'll read them again. Parker Smith, Hayden Pearson, Noah Lewis, Blaze Rodriguez, Colt Brown, Sawyer Pruitt, and Mark Collins. We have heard 4 players announce their intentions to enter the transfer portal. And then a 5th player in Murphy Brooks announcing that he would be medically retiring from the game of baseball. Cohen Alfonso, Jace LaCava, and Wilton Wilton Taylor were all players that were not with you in the Starkville Regional. They have officially entered into the transfer portal. And on the same day, that Tuesday, as all of these players were announcing that they would be coming back, and it was a lot of excitement, Maddox Mendino slipped in that he would be entering the transfer portal after 3 seasons with the program, having 1 year of eligibility. And while this may come as somewhat of a shock for me, I think that it makes a lot of sense. Maddox was 4th on your team in batting average with a 278. He played in 51 games while starting in 35 of them. He had 37 hits, 7 doubles, 2 triples, no home runs, and 18 RBIs for you. He also had 11 stolen bases out of 14 attempts. And the reason that I say that this is not a huge shocker for me is because of the role that Noah Lewis played, right? There were a lot of instances where they were kind of mixing and matching back and forth. You'd have Maddox there, you'd have Noah there, and it was back and forth. And, you know, I know that it may seem like he's not being loyal, but you had a lot of guys to leave after the 2025 season, and Maddox decided to return and come back, and he is entitled to have the opportunity to see if the grass is greener on the other side. We don't know if that will be the case for him or not, but he definitely had some big moments for you, not just during the season, but in the postseason as well. You think about when Noah Lewis initially got hurt there in the Sun Belt Conference Tournament, Maddox was inserted in the lineup, and he had some really big moments for you. He had some big moments in the regional as well. And so losing that will hurt just a bit, but you know that you have a ton of upside with a younger player in Noah Lewis. And in previous instances, you typically will go with the younger player that you have on the roster because they have more of an upside and more of an opportunity to get better for you and your program. So as it stands now, you have 5 players that will not be returning, and then you have 5 seniors that will be out of eligibility: Liamine Rigoberto Hernandez, Andrew Herman, Tyler Pappenbrock, and Jose Torres. So 10 total players that could potentially not be back. You have 7 that have announced their intentions of returning, and I've listed the multiple guys that could potentially still be coming back as well. So if I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 other guys have not made it clear what their intentions are as well. And I'm as you see, I'm looking down at my phone quite a bit because I'm trying to make sure that I don't miss anybody announcing while I'm recording this episode and potentially having to redo it for a second time. But it's going to be big to see what you can get to add from the guys that are going to return. You can potentially have 24 guys to come back. 2 of those 24 are already going to be draft eligible. We know Ty Roman and Cody Brash as well. We will see exactly what they decide to do, whether that's for the next level or not, or if they're going to be willing to bet on themselves and run it back one more time for one more year to try to potentially improve their draft stock even more so and go further in the postseason with the Ragin Cajuns program. So we'll see about that. Also of note, the Cajuns also have already added someone out of the portal as Caleb Pisano. I think that's how you pronounce his first name. At some point, we will definitely be able to figure out for sure. He announced back on May the 2nd. Going down south was his post on his Instagram. Shout out to Talking Teague on Twitter for putting the post up and bringing that to light. And then shout out to Beer Hose Boys instead of Water Hose Boys for getting the nuggets there. He's a former Oregon Duck commit. He was the number 3 player in the state of Oregon and the number 1 first baseman. He's 6'3", 225 pounds, and had a 318 batting average last year in the JUCO ranks. So you've already added a player out of the portal. The 2 players that I know off the top of my head from your high school class are Evan Vincent from Turlings Catholic, who's a pitcher, and Miles Ladeau, who's an infielder for you. So you're loaded up, and you could be looking really, really strong for the 2027 campaign. And it's going to be exciting to see how things will develop for you over this offseason and towards the future. And while it is still very early in the process, the transfer portal coming open on June the 1st, and all of these players that have announced that they could come back still have until June 30th to potentially be given an offer and could change their mind, and they would be entitled to be able to do that. So it's going to be important for Matt Deggs and company to hold the rope and continue to hold on to those relationships, and only hope that these guys will stick true to the word that they have given and committed to, that they will be willing to stay in the vermilion and white. One final note, there also will be a change among the coaching staff, as assistant coach and recruiting coordinator Zach LaFleur. I was told that he would be taking the head coaching job at Turlings Catholic, which is also his alma mater. Zach is also an alum of the Ragin Cajuns baseball program, and he's been a part of the program since he was done in his playing days. We're serving as the recruiting coordinator, helping to find so many talented guys that you think about throughout the program: Carson Rockeforts, Blaze Rodriguez, Kyle DeBarge, LP Lajavin, so on and so forth. So many different guys. He was one of the main pieces to help you to be able to bring in some of those guys and recruit them to this program. So he will be truly, truly missed. But this was an opportunity for him to go and lead a program and to lead his alma mater, because he is a Turlings Catholic alum as well. He had some great experience, as well as after the James Madison series, head coach Matt Deggs went more into the dugout and allowed Zach to take the third base coaching position. So he was waving everybody home and having good moments with plays at the plate and all of those things like that. So hat tip to Zach for a job well done, and good luck to him at Turlings Catholic. We'll definitely be touching bases with him, especially on my day job at KETC. And it'll be exciting to see what he can do with that program as well. So that's going to wrap up this episode of Ragin Rundown. We'll be keeping our eyes to make sure that no other player announces in the time that I finish recording this episode, or in the next couple of hours. If it does, we'll try to give you an update as well. Thank you guys so much. If you made it to this point in the video, please like it, share it, and leave a comment down below. But most importantly, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you're listening, follow the podcast feed, rate the show, and leave us a review, because that's going to help us get in front of more Ragin Cajun fans just like yourself. I'm your guy, Jamarcus Fitzpatrick. We'll see you guys next time.